shared library part would be a part of a stack. Now this is a local pointer, but this is a function called malloc that returns the memory out of a heap. So this local 5 would be allocated the memory into the stack, but it would be pointing to the dynamically allocated block in a heap. Okay? Once we are executed from the main function, our main function gets destroyed and the stack got released. There is a command in the Unix called nm. Whenever you are having an executable, you can check what are the values, because every executable stores the data about the code segment, data segment, heap and stack. So whenever you put the command nm with the executable, it will list it out what variables are stored, like BSS1. This is a part of BSS. BSS2, this is also a part of BSS. Now you can see init2, this is a part of D represent data segment. I can show you the terminology. If it is showing a lowercase, it is a local variable. If it is uppercase, then it is a global variable. All these small letters, local variables. Capital T means text segment. B means BSS, but global. D is the initialized data section, T is the text section, and U is the unidentified. nm command is not able to recognize what exactly the value is. This is what I explained. Any question about this? I have covered it fast because we are having a lot of things to tell. These are the basics that you should know. Is this thing clear? Okay. We are having the capital letters that state that these are the global or a static variables. If it is representing D, it means it is a data section. Okay? If it is a lowercase, it is a local variable to a function. V means uninitialized data section. D is the initialized data section. T for text or code segment, and U is unidentified. We will be looking into it in the practical session. We will be having one executable and we will run the nm command to see what exactly the value of those local variable into the memory. So this is how we could see what exactly this is the starting address where our memory is stored. We are here for a session on the network and system programming. Just have a look into it, what exactly you would be having in these 2 days. As I give you a brief introduction about the memory management, the next would be the basics of the internet. We would be having a very interesting session on the telecom. We would be covering the various addresses, protocols, client-server model, then address resolution, byte ordering, handshake, TCP handshake. Then we would be having the concept on sockets. We would be looking into the practical session also. We would be having the UDP and TCP both. we would be having the practical session after 2 o'clock. These are things that we would be covering in the practical class. Then tomorrow we will be having a session in the morning in the multi-threading. We would be see how the threads is created, how it is useful and processed. We will be looking at the concept on synchronization, semaphores, how to destroy it, how to cancel the thread. We would be covering the practicals on makefile and the threads. So these are the things that we have planned. Keshwar would be covering the socket programming. Thank you.
Hello friends. This is the introduction for the socket programming. First of all, I want to know what you are expecting from this session. Anyone? So that I can make this session interesting. Okay. Because it is a time when I can know your feelings. Because this session is for you, for your future. Just don't think that this is just a time pass. Okay. Just think this is a career making. Because after 4 years, you want a job. This session is about that. Because after 4 years, you have to very good job in your hand. So that this system programming session is all for you who want to make career in system programming and any other area. Just like you want to make your career in .NET, database or anywhere, you must know C and the system. So first of all, I want to know your aspiration or what you want from this session. You have idea about networks? I'm just covering the first fundamentals, then after the main network programming area. Okay? Can I know what is network? Anyone? You? Okay. How one computer communicating with another computer? Can you say how? One computer, just I want to call you on your number. I must know your phone number. Then only I can talk to you. In the similar fashion, all the computers have its own addresses. Okay? Just you want to walk through, you want to go your home. Okay? So, different phases in this work also. First of all, you exit from this door, then following the stairs. After that, you will follow bus, and after that you will reach to your destination. In the similar fashion, all the networks are divided in different layers. You are going through network concepts in many books. All are saying about the different layers. What are the layers? Layers are just different phases to doing a particular work. This is the OSI model. you all know, I think, a little bit. Okay, just I want to deliver a simple packet to you. How it is going to you? It is going through the one medium. Okay. So first of all, whenever I typed any mail, okay, first of all, there is a application layer. Okay, application layer is where I am writing a simple mail. Okay, any FTP, you are writing mails in google.com or yahoo.com. So in application layer, we are just giving you a simple way to write. We are just giving you a simple user interface where you are just writing your mails, your anything you want from the network. We are giving you application layer. After that, what happened here in presentation layer? Anyone can guess? What? Yes, it is encrypting the message, your message, for the security purpose. Okay. After that, what happened in the session? Suppose I want to call you. Okay. So this session might be for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. So it is providing infrastructure for that session. Okay. After that, your transport layer. Okay. Transport layer is responsible for end-to-end communication. End-to-end communication means I want to drop a letter. It is going through the connectionless medium. In the similar way, if I call you on the phone, it is a connection oriented. In the similar way, transport layer is giving you a medium. How the message will travel from the source to the destination. It might be connection oriented or connectionless. Connection oriented means TCP. Generally, in transport layer, we are just hearing only two protocols, TCP and UDP. But there are almost 2000 protocols available in the market which will work in the transport layer. But commonly all are working TCP and UDP. Okay, TCP is a connection oriented. Where we use connection oriented, where we want delivery is perfect. Okay, we want that every packet and every bit of information is transmitted guaranteedly. Then only we choosing TCP connection. And in UDP, what is the benefit of UDP? UDP and TCP is just like a C and C++ or C and any other high level language. In C, what happened? Everything you can write. But in .NET, everything is available. In the similar way, in TCP, everything is available, just you want to communicate. But in UDP, you can plan all the things in UDP. UDP is much faster than TCP. Okay. It is a connectionless protocol. Why it is fast? Anyone can guess? Yes. Bandwidth काफी बचता है इससे. Then network layer. If transport layer is giving all the things, why the network layer?